a home-built computer in a Californian garage, a $700 loan, 2 college dropouts, and a third man who quit after 12 days. That tiny beginning became the company that rewired our pockets and the global economy. But Apple's first decade was anything but certain. Hi, you're watching EconomiQ. No spin, no hype. Well, in this video, I'll tell how Apple began, the small choices that made it scale, and 3 near-death moments that could have ended the company, why those moments matter to investors, workers, and consumers today. In the mid-1970s, a hobbyist culture centered around chip kits and home computing was growing. Steve Wozniak built a working personal computer prototype, clever, compact, and inexpensive to produce. Steve Jobs saw not a hobby, but a product. Together, they launched Apple from a garage, selling early machines to enthusiasts and local shops. They financed the first run with small loans and direct sales. The product was imperfect, but it solved a real problem: making computation accessible to people outside labs and corporations. Apple's scaling was not accidental. They moved from the hobbyist market into a consumer product mindset. The Macintosh era introduced user-friendly interfaces, tight hardware-software integration, and above all, design as strategy. Apple didn't just sell devices, they sold experiences. Then later, Apple shifted again: music with the iPod and iTunes, phones with the iPhone, and services. Each shift was a bet on owning a broader slice of how people live with technology. Apple's rise had 3 decisive crises that nearly derailed it, and each tested whether the company could change. First, a market misread and product fragmentation. At times, the product line became confused. Too many models, diluted messaging, and pricing that tripped consumers. When customers can't understand what to buy, sales fall. Second, leadership and strategy failures. Leadership choices matter. Missteps in management and strategy can destroy momentum. Apple reached a point in the 1990s where it was losing focus, revenues and margins dipped, and competitors closed the gap. Finally, competitive and technological shifts. Technological bets can make or break you. The move from desktops to mobile required different strengths: supply chain scale, carrier partnerships, and new software ecosystems. Companies that fail to adapt get overtaken. Apple's recovery came from 3 choices. First, a renewed focus on product simplicity, fewer models, clearer choices. Second, vertical integration, controlling hardware, software, and retail meant they owned the customer experience. Third, ecosystem strategy. The App Store and services created recurring revenue, not just one-off sales. These moves shifted Apple from a product company to a platform company. That change is why their business model today earns recurring revenue and powerful customer loyalty. If you want to judge a company's durability, watch 3 signals. 1. Clarity of product offerings, the customer confused. 2. Control of the supply chain and key technology, can they maintain margins? And 3. Quality of recurring revenue, are customers coming back and paying for services? Apple succeeded because it deliberately strengthened each of these. Apple's story is not just nostalgia. It's a live case study for any company trying to scale. Design matters, focus matters, and owning the customer relationship transforms economics. For investors and creators, that's the core lesson. Which of Apple's 3 survival moves do you think mattered most: design, vertical integration, or the App Store? Comment 1, 2, or 3, and I'll pin the best answers. Subscribe for daily explainers on companies, markets, and policy. EconomiQ. No spin, no hype.